Hello students, we have started our topic strategies for enhancement in food production from NCERT book, and in today's lecture we will discuss some of the important varieties of the plant that are produced by the plant breeding technique. So first crop given in our book is the wheat and rice. So, wheat and rice, these are the two varieties of the plant which are produced by the plant breeding program. And see here, during the period 1960 to 2000, wheat production increased from 11 million tons to 75 million tons, while rice production went up from 35 million tons to 89.5 million tons. This is only because of the different techniques which are employed in the plant breeding. So from 1960 to 2000, there will be increase in the wheat production from 11 million to 70 million tons, as well as the production of the rice increased from 35 million tons to 89.5 million tons, and this was due to the development of semi-dwarf variety of wheat and rice. This is only possible because there will be development of the semi-dwarf varieties of wheat and rice. So, Nobel laureate Norman E. Borlaug at International Center for Wheat and Maize Improvement in Mexico developed semi-dwarf variety of wheat. So underline this word, it is very important that Norman E. Borlaug, who developed the semi-dwarf variety of wheat. Where it is developed? It is developed at International Center for Wheat and Maize Improvement in Mexico. So this line is very important, that question may be asked that who developed the semi-dwarf variety of the wheat? The answer is Norman E. Borlaug. Where he developed it? At International Center for Mexico, at International Center for Wheat and Maize Improvement in Mexico. Then in 1963, several varieties such as Sonalika and Kalyan Sona, which were high yielding and disease resistant, were introduced all over the wheat growing belt of India. So these varieties name are very important, that is Sonalika and Kalyan Sona. These are the two varieties of the wheat which we also call as a semi-dwarf variety of the wheat, which was developed by scientist Norman E. Borlaug. And the quality of these two varieties of wheat is that it is not only high yielding but it is also disease resistant. So any disease cannot be affect to these two varieties of the wheat because it is a disease resistant. Semi-dwarf rice varieties were derived from IR8, which is developed at International Rice Research Institute, IRRI. Full form of IRRI is International Rice Research Institute, which is present at the Philippines, and Taichung Native 1, which is originally from Taiwan. So a very important point is that the semi-dwarf rice variety, which is first developed from the IR8. So full form of the IR8 is International Rice, which was developed from IR8. So IR8, what is mean by IR8? It is a variety of the rice, okay, from which there is the semi-dwarf variety of the rice is developed. So IR8 is a semi-dwarf variety, but this variety is derived from the International Rice Research Institute, Philippines, and Taichung Native 1 from the Taiwan. That means the crop from the IRRI, Philippines, and the crop from the Taiwan, name of that crop is Taichung Native 1. This semi-dwarf variety of rice is developed, and the derivatives were introduced in 1966. Later, better yielding semi-dwarf variety Jaya and Ratna were developed in India. So, student, underline this word, that is semi-dwarf rice variety were derived from IR8. So, this IR8 is a main crop of the rice from which the semi-drought variety of the rice is developed. Okay, you should also know the full form of IRRI, International Rice Research Institute, which is present at the Philippines, and Taichung Native One, which is present at the Taiwan. By combination of these two varieties, there will be development of the semi-drought variety of the rice. Okay, and later on there are again many varieties of the rice was developed, and those are the Jaya and Ratna. So very important thing from this paragraph is that semi-drought variety of the wheat are Sonalika and Kalyan Sona, while the semi-drought variety of the rice are the Jaya and Ratna. All this semi-drought variety was developed by the scientist Norman E. Borlaug, who developed this variety, particularly wheat, at Mexico, while the rice variety is developed by combination of the two variety of rice. One is from native Philippines and other is from native Taichung, that is the Taiwan. Now next to it is the sugarcane. So in first paragraph we have to remember semi-drought variety of rice, semi-drought variety of wheat, then where the wheat variety was developed, that is the International Center for Wheat and Maize Improvement in Mexico, who developed Norman E. Borlaug. Then we have to remember what is meant by IR8. IR8 is a variety of rice, and the Taichung native one is also another variety of rice. By combination of these two rice variety, there will be development of the semi-drought variety of rice, and you should know the full form of IRRI as well as the Jaya and Ratna. These are the semi-drought variety of the rice. Okay, now we will discuss the next crop, that is sugarcane. Here Saccharum barberi is the scientific name of the sugarcane. Was originally grown in India, particularly in north side, but this variety has poor sugar content and yield. So Saccharum barberi is grown in the North India, whose has the poor sugar content and his yield is also poor. Tropical cane grown in South India, and the name of that sugar cane is Saccharum officinarum, had thicker stem and a higher sugar content. Thicker stem means ultimately its yield is high and it has also high sugar content, but did not grow well in North India. That means Saccharum officinarum, which is grown in the South India, which has high yield as well as high sugar content, but this variety cannot grow in North India. These two species were successfully crossed to get sugarcane varieties combining the desirable qualities of high yield, thick stem, high sugar, and ability to grow in the sugarcane areas of North India. So, by applying the plant breeding technique, these two varieties, one is Saccharum barberi from the North India and other is Saccharum officinarum from the South India, has been combined, and all the varieties of these two parents was combined in a single plant, that is called as the hybrid plant. Those hybrid plants should have the high yield, thick stem, high sugar, and ability to grow in North India. Okay, so here the important point for NEET point of view are the name of the variety of the North India, that is Saccharum barberi, and the name of the variety of the South India, that is Saccharum officinarum. As well as we have to remember that characteristics of the only one variety, by which the characteristics of the second variety we can easily understand. For example, Saccharum barberi, which grows in North India, has poor sugar content, has poor yield. So ultimately we can remember that Saccharum officinarum, which grows in the South India, has the sugar content high as well as high yield. Okay, so these 2 points are only important from this paragraph. Now the third crop is the millets. Millets means what? Hybrid maize, jowar and bajra have been successfully developed in India. Okay, in India, maize, jowar and bajra, these are the 3 crops which have been successfully developed. Hybrid breeding have led to the development of several high yielding varieties resistant to the water stress. So this millet includes the Grass plant means particularly maize, jowar, bajra. These crops are included under the title millets. And by this plant breeding technique, here we can observe there are different varieties of hybrid maize, hybrid jowar, and hybrid bajra. How they are produced? By taking the two parents which are pure line which has two different good qualities. By combining these two good qualities in one plant, there will be development of hybrid maize, hybrid jowar, and hybrid bajra. So here in millet you have to remember the crops like the bajra, jowar, and the maize which are called as a hybrid, which is developed by the plant breeding, and they are included under the title millets. Okay, so here we have completed the three crops: wheat and rice, second one is the sugar cane, and the third one is the millet. Now the next point is plant breeding for disease resistant. Plant breeding for the disease resistant. Here plant breeding is particularly carried out not only for the high yield, okay, or for other reasons, but here the aim of that breeding is only the production of the crop which should be disease resistant. That means not a single disease will be spread on that crop. So such a plants which are produced by this technique are disease resistant. So we have to see how the plant breeding is carried out for disease resistant. So see here the first line is that a wide range of fungal, bacterial, and viral pathogen affect the yield of cultivated crop species, especially in tropical climates. So here the important thing is you have to underline that is on the plant always there is a fungal, bacterial, and viral pathogens affect. Okay, fungi, bacteria, and virus can be affected, not a protozoan or nematodes. There is a maybe infection, but it is very minute one. But majority of the infection on the plant is due to the fungus, due to the bacteria, and due to the virus. Okay, so they affect the yield of that crop after infecting the plant, especially in tropical region, in tropical climates. Crop losses can often be significant, up to 20 to 30%, or sometimes even total. And by this pathogen, which may be fungi, which may be bacteria, or which may be virus, there is a loss of the plant yield up to 20 to 30%. So there will be 20 to 30% loss will be occur. किंवा आपल्याला असं सांगता येईल की काही वेळा इतकं इन्फेक्शन सिव्हिअर असतं की पूर्णपणे सगळ्या पिकांची नासाडी होते आणि आपल्याला इल्ड जी आहे ती टोटली लॉस झालेली पाहायला मिळते. नेक्स्ट लाईन, in this situation, breeding and development of cultivar resistant to disease enhances food production. आणि या सिच्युएशनमध्ये प्लांट ब्रीडिंग टेक्निकद्वारे कल्टिवर्स म्हणजे क्रॉप आपण असे तयार करू शकतो की जे डिसीजला रेजिस्टंट असतात. त्या अल्टिमेटली त्या ठिकाणी काय होते, फूड प्रोडक्शन आपल्याला वाढलेलं पाहायला मिळतं. दिस अल्सो हेल्प्स रिड्यूस द डिपेंडन्स ऑन यूज ऑफ फंगीसाइड्स अँड बॅक्टेरिसाइड्स. म्हणजे काय सांगितले बघा, इफ वी डेव्हलप द क्रॉप्स विच आर रेजिस्टंट टू द डिसीजेस, okay, then there is no use of fungicide and bactericide. जर आपण क्रॉपच असे तयार करणार आहोत की जे कुठल्याच रोगाला बळी पडणार नाहीत, मग असे क्रॉप तयार केल्यानंतर त्यावर आपल्याला औषधं फवारायची गरज नाही की जे औषध पर्टिक्युलरली फंगीसाईड म्हणजे फंगसना किल करतं, बॅक्टेरियोसाईड म्हणजे बॅक्टेरियाला किल करतं, असं औषध पण आपल्याला वापरायची गरज नाही किंवा त्या औषधावर डिपेंड राहायची गरज नाही. कारण या ठिकाणी काय होते, आपण क्रॉपच असं तयार करतो की ज्याच्यावर असल्या कोणत्याही पॅथोजनचं इन्फेक्शनच होऊ शकणार नाही. त्यामुळं फार्मरला फंगीसाईडवर किंवा बॅक्टेरियासाईडवर डिपेंड राहायची गरज नाही. रेजिस्टंट ऑफ द होस्ट प्लांट इज द ॲबिलिटी टू प्रिव्हेंट द पॅथोजन फ्रॉम कॉझिंग डिसीज अँड इज डिटरमाइंड बाय द जेनेटिक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ द होस्ट प्लांट. म्हणजे काय सांगितलेलं आहे, रेजिस्टंट ऑफ द होस्ट प्लांट इज, host plant means the plant which is cultivated in our crop which is the disease resistant, that is called as the host plant. So resistance of the host plant means what? The ability to prevent the pathogen from causing disease and is determined by genetic constitution of the host plant. Means that host plant which we have cultivated in our farm, which is produced by the plant breeding technique, it is able to prevent the entry of pathogen inside it. त्यामुळे ते प्लांट कुठल्याही पॅथोजनला आपल्या बॉडीमध्ये येऊन देत नाही. आणि सगळं कशामुळे होतं? तर त्या प्लांटचा जो जीनोम आहे, त्या प्लांटचे जे जीन आहेत ते आपण अशा पद्धतीने तयार केलेले आहेत की त्या जीनच्या कॉम्पोजिशनमुळं कुठलाही पॅथोजन त्या प्लांटवर अटॅक करू शकत नाही. सो हिअर द व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट लाईन इज दॅट in a whole paragraph there will be fungal, bacterial and viral pathogen majorly affect the plant part. Okay, next important line is that is resistant to the host plant is the ability to prevent the pathogen from the causing disease and is determined by the genetic constitution of the host plant. Number of times they may be asked the question like that. In a plant which is developed by the plant breeding technique, which is a disease resistant variety. Why it is so? It is only due to the genetic constitution of the host plant, because there is a gene which is inserted in that plant or do not cause any infection to the plant. So genetic constitution of the host plant is only responsible for the disease resistant variety. Next line is that before breeding is undertaken, it is important to know about causative organism and the mode of transmission. So if anybody want to develop the plants which are disease resistant, so before that he should know the plant which he has taken for breeding, which pathogen won't generally affect that plant and how the mode of transmission takes place in that plant. म्हणजे या लाईनमध्ये आपल्याला काय सांगितलेलं आहे? एखाद्या व्यक्तीला जर प्लांट ब्रीडिंग करायचं असेल, त्यासाठी त्यानं 2 प्लांट्स कन्सिडर केले असतील, तर फॉर एक्झाम्पल जर एखाद्यानं व्हीटचं प्लांट कन्सिडर केले प्लांट ब्रीडिंग टेक्निकसाठी, तर त्या व्यक्तीला पहिल्यांदा माहीत पाहिजे की त्यानं जी व्हरायटी व्हीटची सिलेक्ट केलेली आहे त्या व्हीट व्हरायटीवर नॉर्मली कोणता पॅथोजन अफेक्ट करतो, त्या पॅथोजनची एंट्री म्हणजे मोड ऑफ ट्रान्समिशन त्या प्लांटमध्ये कसं होतं हे आधी त्या व्यक्तीला माहीत असलं पाहिजे. मगच तो त्या व्हीट व्हरायटीपासून डिसीज रेजिस्टंट व्हीट व्हरायटी तयार करू शकतो. सम ऑफ द डिसीजेस कॉज बाय फंगाय. नाव दिस लाईन इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. फर्स्ट, सेकंड अँड थर्ड द लाईन्स विच आर वी नाव रीडिंग अंडरलाईन दिस वर्ड. सम ऑफ दिस डिसीजेस कॉज by fungi. So we have to remember which diseases produced by fungi in plant. So name of diseases are rust, example brown rust of wheat, red rot of sugarcane, late blight of potato by bacteria. So here fungi, the diseases by the fungi are commonly called rust. So if rust is there, we have to remember that it is a disease due to the fungi. So by fungi, particular disease which is developed on the plant is called as rust. For example, brown rust of wheat, red rot of sugarcane and late blight of potato. All these diseases are due to the fungi. Second one, bacteria produce the different type of diseases like black rot of crucifer, and by viruses the disease produced is tobacco mosaic, turnip mosaic. These are the 2 diseases, tobacco mosaic and the turnip mosaic. So underline these 3 lines which are very very important for NEET point of view. Fungal diseases are commonly called as rust. The examples of it are brown rust of wheat, red rot of sugarcane and late blight of potato. By bacteria, black rot of crucifer, and by viruses, tobacco mosaic and turnip mosaic diseases are produced in the plant. So there will be question on this line that which disease is produced by the fungi, bacteria or by the viruses. Okay, so from this paragraph we have to focus on the plant breeding for the disease resistant, and in that the very very important line is that disease resistant plants are produced only which depends on the genetic constitution of the host plant. Next one, we have to remember the fungal, bacterial and viral diseases which are produced into the body of the plant. Okay, now we will discuss by which method this plant breeding technique is employed for development of the disease resistant variety. So here breeding is carried out by conventional breeding technique or by mutation breeding. So this plant breeding technique is generally carried out by conventional breeding. Conventional means the पारंपरिक. We have seen the meaning of it. पारंपरिक means पूर्वापार चालत आलेली जी ब्रीडिंग टेक्निक आहे ह्युमनचं सिव्हिलायझेशन झाल्यापासून पारंपरिक जे टेक्निक आहे त्याला आपण म्हणतो कन्व्हेन्शनल प्लांट ब्रीडिंग और म्युटेशन ब्रीडिंग. देन व्हॉट इज मीन बाय म्युटेशन. म्युटेशन म्हणजे काय, जे प्लांट आपण ब्रीडिंगसाठी घेणार आहोत त्या प्लांटला ठराविक एजंटला एक्सपोज केलं, फॉर एक्झाम्पल UV रेज, गॅमा रेज, बीटा रेज किंवा अजून काही केमिकलला एक्सपोज केलं तर त्या प्लांटच्या जीनमध्ये जो काही बदल होतो दॅट इज कॉल्ड ॲज दी म्युटेशन ब्रीडिंग. सो plant breeding technique by which we can produce the disease resistant variety is developed by two ways, by the use of conventional plant breeding or by the mutation breeding. The conventional method of breeding for disease resistance is that of hybridization and selection. Then which methods are employed in the conventional method of breeding? In the conventional method of breeding there will be hybridization and selection. Then what is meant by hybridization? So we have seen that if there are two plants, A plant and the B plant, which we have selected for the plant breeding, so the transfer of pollen grain from A plant to the stigma of the B plant is called as the hybridization. After hybridization there will be formation of the new progeny of the plant and we have to select those plants only which has the combination of the two good characters of the parent. ही लाईन काय सांगते नीट लक्षात घेऊया आपण बा. त्यांनी काय सांगितलेलं आहे आपल्याला, कन्व्हेन्शनल मेथड ऑफ ब्रीडिंग म्हणजे काय की ज्या मेथड खूप पूर्वापार चालत आलेली आहे त्याला म्हणायचं कन्व्हेन्शनल मेथड ऑफ ब्रीडिंग. याच्यामध्ये काय केलं जातं तर दोन महत्त्वाचे स्टेप्स आहेत, हायब्रिडायझेशन अँड सिलेक्शन. व्हॉट इज मीन बाय हायब्रिडायझेशन? ट्रान्सफर ऑफ पोलन ग्रेन फ्रॉम अँथर ऑफ वन प्लांट टू द स्टिग्मा ऑफ द अदर प्लांट, ह्याला म्हणायचं हायब्रिडायझेशन. म्हणजे ए आणि बी प्लांट जे घेतलेलं आहे त्या ए प्लांटमधले पोलन ग्रेन बी प्लांटच्या स्टिग्मावर डिपॉझिट झाले की आपण त्या ठिकाणी काय म्हणणार आहोत, हायब्रिडायझेशन म्हणणार आहोत. आणि सिलेक्शन म्हणजे काय, हायब्रिडायझेशन झाल्यानंतर काय होणार आहे, फर्टिलायझेशन झाल्यानंतर काय तयार होणार आहे, सीड फॉर्मेशन. हे सीड आपल्याला कुठं ग्रो झालेले पाहायला मिळणार आहेत, सॉईलमध्ये. आणि या सीडपासून जी नवीन झाडं येणार आहेत, नवीन प्लांट येणार आहेत त्यातले सगळेच प्लांट आपल्याला सिलेक्ट करायचे नाहीत. असे प्लांट सिलेक्ट करायचे आहेत की ज्या प्लांटमध्ये आपल्याला ए आणि बी या दोन्ही पॅरेंटचे फक्त चांगले कॅरेक्टर्स पाहायला मिळतील असंच प्लांट आपण सिलेक्ट करणार आहे आणि त्याला आपण नाव देणार आहोत त्या मेथडला सिलेक्शन आणि त्या प्लांटला म्हणणार आहोत हायब्रिड प्लांट. सो नीट पॉईंट ऑफ व्ह्यू हे खूप महत्त्वाचा पार्ट आहे की कन्व्हेन्शनल प्लांट ब्रीडिंगमध्ये मेजॉरिटीली कोणत्या दोन स्टेप यूज केल्या जातात तर हायब्रिडायझेशन अँड दी सिलेक्शन. नाव its steps are essentially identical to those for breeding and any other agronomic characters such as high yield. So these steps of the conventional breeding, its steps means conventional breeding steps are identical to those for breeding for any other agronomic character. So generally in any breeding program there will be hybridization, there will be selection. So these methods are employed all over in the agronomic characters to produce the high yield. The various steps are, now here the various steps of the methods of plant breeding for disease resistance are given and those steps are screening germplasm. Screening germplasm for resistance sources. Germplasm means we have seen the definition of it, that means different alleles of genes or different genes which are different alleles together called as a germplasm for resistant sources. That means here the plant which we have taken for the plant breeding technique for the disease resistant variety formation, we have to check the germplasm of both A and B parent. म्हणजे जे पॅरेंट आपण सिलेक्ट केले आहेत प्लांट ब्रीडिंग टेक्निकसाठी, जिथं आपल्याला डिसीज रेजिस्टंट व्हरायटी तयार करायची आहेत, त्या प्लांटचे जीन्स, त्या प्लांटचे अलील्स यांचं आपल्याला पहिल्यांदा चेकिंग केलं पाहिजे, किती ते स्ट्रॉंग आहेत अलील जीन्स. त्यासाठी आपल्याला पहिल्यांदा जर्म प्लाझ्मा चेक केलं पाहिजे. हायब्रिडायझेशन ऑफ सिलेक्टेड पॅरेंट जे आपण सिलेक्ट करणार आहोत ए आणि बी प्लांट, त्या ए आणि बी प्लांटचं हायब्रिडायझेशन केलं पाहिजे. हायब्रिडायझेशन म्हणजे परत आपण बघूया की ट्रान्सफर ऑफ पोलन ग्रेन फ्रॉम वन प्लांट टू दी स्टिग्मा ऑफ द अदर प्लांट, त्याला काय म्हणतो आपण हायब्रिडायझेशन. सिलेक्शन अँड इव्हॅल्युशन ऑफ द हायब्रिड. यानंतर काय तयार होणार आहे सांगा बघू. हायब्रिडायझेशन नंतर फर्टिलायझेशन होणार आहे, त्यानंतर सीड तयार होणार आहेत. ते सीड आपण कशामध्ये कल्टिवेट करणार आहे, जमिनीमध्ये सॉईलमध्ये कल्टिवेट केल्यानंतर त्याच्यापासून अनेक नवीन क्रॉप येणार आहे. त्या क्रॉपमध्ये परत आपण काय करणार आहोत, काहीच क्रॉप त्यामध्ये आपण काहीच क्रॉप सिलेक्ट करणार आहोत. का असं करणार आहोत आपण काहीच क्रॉप, कारण आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे, फक्त हायब्रिड क्रॉप सिलेक्ट करायचे आहेत. आपल्याला फक्त हायब्रिड क्रॉप सिलेक्ट करायचे आहेत की ज्या क्रॉपमध्ये दोन्ही पॅरेंटचे गुड कॅरेक्टर्स आपल्याला पाहायला मिळणार आहेत. त्याला आपण म्हणतो आहे सिलेक्शन. अँड इव्हॅल्युशन म्हणजे फक्त आपण हायब्रिड सिलेक्ट केलं की ज्याच्यामध्ये दोन्ही पॅरेंटच्या चांगल्या क्वालिटी झालेल्या आहेत, तर असं करून चालणार नाही. ते सिलेक्ट केलेलं हायब्रिड आपल्याला इव्हॅल्युएट केलं पाहिजे. मग परत काय करायला पाहिजे, आपल्याला त्या हायब्रिड प्लांटमध्ये दोन हायब्रिड प्लांट एकत्र घेतले पाहिजेत. एकाला मेल प्लांट कन्सिडर केला पाहिजे, एकाला फिमेल प्लांट कन्सिडर केला पाहिजे, आणि त्या दोघांपासून परत सेल्फ क्रॉसिंग केलं पाहिजे. म्हणजेच एका हायब्रिडला जर फिमेल कन्सिडर केलं तर त्या फिमेलच्या स्टिग्मावर दुसऱ्या हायब्रिडला जर मेल कन्सिडर केलं तर त्या मेलचे पोलन ग्रेन ट्रान्सफर केले पाहिजेत. आणि मग तिथं परत आपल्याला काय पाहायला मिळतं की हायब्रिडायझेशन प्रोसेस कंप्लीट झालेली पाहायला मिळते. मग परत तुम्हाला नवीन प्लांट तयार झालेले पाहायला मिळतात. ते नवीन प्लांट जर परत सेम पॅरेंटसारखे कॅरेक्टर दाखवत असतील तर त्याला म्हणायचं इव्हॅल्युएशन ऑफ दी हायब्रिड. अँड टेस्टिंग अँड रिलीज ऑफ दी न्यू व्हरायटी. आणि मग परत त्या व्हरायटी टेस्ट केल्या जातात रिसर्च फील्डमध्ये, नंतर फार्मर फील्डमध्ये, वेगवेगळ्या क्लायमॅटिक कंडिशनमध्ये. त्या प्लांटला व्यवस्थित सगळ्या कंडिशन प्रोव्हाइड करून ते प्लांट व्यवस्थित सस्टेन राहते का, वेगवेगळ्या क्लायमॅटिक कंडिशनमध्ये ते ग्रो होते का, हे चेक केलं जातं. त्याला म्हणायचं टेस्टिंग. अँड नाव दीज व्हरायटीज आर रिलीजेस इन टू द मार्केट अंडर द टायटल न्यू व्हरायटी. So here the very important point is that we are discussing the methods of breeding of the disease resistant and the sequential steps for the methods of breeding of the disease resistance are: the first step is the parent which we have selected for the plant breeding. We have to check first its gene, its allele. So the name is given as germplasm screening. Screening means checking. Okay, for the resistant sources. Second, hybridization of these two parents. Third, selection of the hybrid variety. And fourth, evaluation of that hybrid variety. And last one is that we call it the fifth. Now, the variety which is developed by this process is tested in a research field as well as in the farmer field, and there will be new varieties released from it in the market. So sequence is very important. How we can arrange the sequence? First, screening of the germplasm of the two plant. Second, hybridization of the selected plant. Third one, that is the selection. Fourth one, evaluation of the hybrid plant. And fifth one, testing and release of the new variety. So we have to arrange the sequence like this, then and then only we can easily understand the methods of development of crop plant for the disease resistant by the plant breeding technique. Okay, now see here, some crop varieties bred by hybridization and selection for disease resistant to fungi, bacteria and viral diseases are released. So this table 9.1 gives us the variety of the crop, particularly the name of that crop is wheat, brassica, cauliflower, cowpea, chili. So these varieties of the crops were developed by the plant breeding technique, which is particularly for the resistant to the diseases. Okay, so we'll see first three columns are there: crop, variety and resistant to diseases. Crop variety wheat, crop is wheat, variety is himgiri and it is resistant to leaf and strip rust, heel bunt. So these are the name of the diseases. You have to remember only like this: leaf and strip rust, heel burnt. These are the names of diseases which are particularly found on the wheat variety. But here himgiri is a variety of wheat which is developed by the plant breeding technique, is resistant to this leaf and stripe rust as well as heel blunt. Means these diseases are never found in the variety of the himgiri. Brassica variety's name is Pusa sorghum. उसको पुसा sorghum ज्याला मराठीमध्ये करणराई असं नाव दिलेलं आहे. सो पुसा sorghum is the variety of brassica which is resistant to the white rust. So it is a fungal disease. Rust means fungal disease which do not affect on this brassica plant. The variety of that brassica is Pusa sorghum because it is developed by plant breeding technique and it is resistant to disease white rust. Third plant is cauliflower. Variety of it is Pusa shubra and Pusa snowball K1. So Pusa shubra and Pusa snowball K1, these are the varieties of the cauliflower. These varieties do not have the disease like black rot and curl blight black rot because they are produced in a method called as the disease resistant plant breeding, and that's why this Pusa shubra and Pusa snowball cannot develop the black rot and curl blight black rot disease on it because they are resistant to that diseases. Cowpea, that means the pea generally used as a food for cow. The name of that variety is Pusa komal and it is resistant to the bacterial disease bacterial blight. Chili, the name of that disease is chili mosaic virus, tobacco mosaic virus and leaf curl. So these diseases cannot affect on the chili, and the name of the variety which do not affect the disease is Pusa sadabahar, which is resistant to chili mosaic virus, tobacco mosaic virus and the leaf curl. So student, the list which is given here is very important for NEET point of view because you have to remember the crop, then the variety and then the resistance to the diseases. Particularly these diseases are there against which these plants are developed because they cannot develop such a type of diseases. So what is important? You have to remember like this: wheat variety himgiri resistant to leaf and stripe rust heel bunt. Brassica variety Pusa sorghum resistant to white rust. Cauliflower variety Pusa shubra, Pusa snowball K1 resistant to black rot and curl blight black rot. Cowpea variety Pusa komal resistant to disease bacterial blight. Chili variety Pusa sadabahar resistant to disease chili mosaic virus, tobacco mosaic virus and the leaf curl. So students, here we have discussed the table. In next lecture I will give you the trick how to remember this chart for NEET point of view. Okay.